Well, rumors have been circulating for a while, but it is now official. Brett Cooper is officially leaving the Daily Wire. Now we're going to be talking about some of her message, some of the theories out there, and then also my thoughts on this entire thing. I do want to start by saying, though, there are very few people in the industry that can reach Gen Z effectively, specifically Gen Z women, quite like Brett Cooper. She's done an amazing job with this show, and I have no doubt that, I'm sure she's bummed to be leaving the Daily Wire, but I have no doubt she'll be continuing her excellent work outside of the Daily Wire as well. So we have the comment section YouTube channel. It no longer says the comment section with Brett Cooper. Here is her message to her followers announcing her departure.
Hey guys, some of you have heard the rumors online, and the rumors are mostly true. Today, December 10th, will be my last day hosting the comment section and working for the Daily Wire. It is not true that I am being forced out. It was my own choice to leave. And believe me, this is bittersweet. I have had the most unbelievable 3 years helping to craft the show, building this community, and telling stories and sharing the truth every day. Through the comment section, you all have made me braver, more articulate, more thoughtful, more hopeful than I could have ever imagined. And I'm grateful that we spent this time together. And I'm grateful that the Daily Wire gave us a platform to grow this community. But at this point in my life, I am ready to take on a new direction, both personally and professionally. This means new challenges and new endeavors, which I will share with you soon. As for this show, the comment section will continue with the Daily Wire. My producer, Reagan, is taking over as host of the comment section, and I wish her and the Daily Wire all the best.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you are a fan of the comment section, you've been seeing Reagan hopping in videos here and there. Her views right now are a little bit lower than Brett's. That makes sense because people are there for Brett. But, okay, well, that's basically her message to her audience. It's kind of weird that they didn't give her just like its own separate video, kind of a goodbye, it's been fun, but maybe they just didn't want to draw that much attention to it, I guess, for the Daily Wire. No clue what's going on there. But anyways, you guys, there are a lot of theories out there of what exactly was going on behind the scenes. Maybe there was an argument with Daily Wire CEO Jeremy Boring or something like that. And Ian Carroll, as well as a couple of others, they've been talking a lot about the behind the scenes and some of maybe whistleblowers over at the Daily Wire. We don't really know what's true, what's not true. But I do want to show this side, and then I'll give my thoughts after.
Kind of a crazy story that my friend James Lee broke like a week ago. He got a source from the Daily Wire that gave him like an inside scoop on the fact that the Daily Wire is pushing Brett Cooper out. And I was like, and I know who she is. She's great at her job. She does what she does. Yeah. And so I go and look up her channel, and I'm like, wait a minute. She's still producing videos though. What's going on? Yeah. And so I started digging in more. I talked to James, then I went and I started digging in and found my own source right at the Daily Wire. And now I've had even more come and corroborate it since I reported on it. And it's not just that the Daily Wire is pushing out Brett Cooper. It's actually that Brett Cooper is under one of these contracts that has her basically tied to secrecy and silence, because now that they're terminating her contract, their arbitration clauses are coming into play. So she is in a secret court of arbitration, not a public court, where she is under NDA and can't say anything about it while they spin whatever narrative they want about it. And they're circulating around letters internally that are saying like, oh, Brett Cooper wants to leave. And that is not the case at all, apparently, according to everyone at the Daily Wire that I've spoken to. And it's that she had disagreements with Jeremy Boring over what happened with Candace, probably, and certainly more disagreements in terms of like the culture there and what's going on, and is now getting pushed out. They are promoting her best friend, who was her maid of honor at her wedding. They offered her a contract that was so lucrative she couldn't refuse it.
The best friend that her bestie was already offered.
Producer Reagan,
bridesmaid.
Yeah, her producer was her bridesmaid at her wedding this year, and they apparently allegedly gave her acting classes to help her imitate Brett's mannerisms. No. And when I was talking to a girl with the family I was staying with before, she's like an 18-year-old chick that loves Brett Cooper. She's a total super fan. And she was like, yeah, the Reagan episodes are kind of weird because she's like a clone of Brett Cooper.
Oh my!
And it's because they paid for acting classes, apparently.
I mean, they could have done that. And no disrespect to Adam Carroll right here. I just don't think he's a fan of the Daily Wire at all. And so when it comes down to it, it seems as though it kind of seems as though it's almost like a little bit of fan fiction or whatever you call it. For example, is there something wrong with taking acting classes for, a company to pay for acting classes for their talent? And the answer is no. It would be a little bit weird if they just wanted her to mimic Brett Cooper, but I don't think that's the case. Again, this is all alleged. We have no clue if this is even the case, but let's just say it is, because I've actually heard of people taking acting classes when they're in front of the camera. Helps them articulate their message a little bit better, helps them be a little bit more excited and more entertaining in front of the camera. I've never done that, by the way. But it's not like the comment section isn't a pretty heavily produced show, right? This was started by the Daily Wire. I believe they started with like 15 employees or something on the show. This is a full-on show. This is a massive channel, 4.5 million subscribers. I'm not saying Brett Cooper did this, but I would not be surprised if Daily Wire paid for acting lessons for Brett Cooper to help make her into the best version she can be for being in front of the camera. So that doesn't really shock me. As for, they're pushing her out, they're trying to get rid of her. Sometimes things are a little bit less complicated than that. Sometimes there's not a massive conspiracy behind every single thing. Right. Ian Carroll could be correct right here. I could be totally wrong. But usually when I'm looking at these things, I find them to be somewhere in the middle. Let's look at the comment section. The comment section, again, a show created by the Daily Wire. And it was created to last forever. So they can invest millions of dollars into marketing, into production, and they're not just going to lose the show once their talent gets, wants to move on. And that's totally okay. People can move on. You see this with PragerU as well. Their talent moves on. They create their own channels. They do whatever. And oftentimes PragerU will find somebody and make them massive, and then they move on. Turning Point does the same thing. You see the same thing over at Turning Point. And what probably happened is they probably had a 3-year contract. They spend millions of dollars into the show, marketing, all of that. And after 3 years, you have it coming time to re-up your contract, and perhaps there's disagreements. Perhaps the disagreement is on Daily Wire side. Maybe they weren't paying her enough. Maybe Brett Cooper wanted more. Whatever it may be. We have no clue. But there was likely some disagreements when it came to the new contract. And at a certain point, right, you're building somebody else's project. And even if Brett Cooper didn't actually want to leave, and there was a disagreement and they weren't going to come to an agreement on it because it wasn't worth it or whatever, Brett Cooper, she has a husband now. She probably wants to start a family. She probably doesn't have the work-life balance she wants, and she could easily walk away, start her own channel, create the perfect work-life balance, and make more money than the Daily Wire was probably offering her, if I had to guess. So usually the truth is somewhere in the middle. I don't necessarily think, unless there's evidence that comes out and it's very obvious, oh gosh, there's a grand scheme against Brett Cooper because she stood up for Candace Owens. I have no clue. I have no clue if that's the case. It could be the case. But usually it's somewhere in the middle to where, there was probably some heated conversations. I'm sure the Daily Wire wasn't happy that negotiations weren't going perfectly, if I had to guess. And, I'm sure it's not comfortable to have your very good friend take over that show. I will say what you will see is an initial plummet in views, because a lot of people are saying, okay, well, everyone's just there for Brett Cooper. That's probably true, but if they do a pretty good job mimicking Brett's attitude and the show style, and nothing changes, and it's just a different person, but it's very similar, you will end up with a lot of people that will hold on, that will stick around. And I do think that views absolutely will plummet. I mean, you can look right here. Between Reagan's views, 170,000 versus Brett's, 400,000, 350, 1 million. So she obviously, people love her. People love Brett. And this is why, yes, she will be totally fine doing a channel on her own, going independent. She will be absolutely fine. You can see, though, Reagan's views much, much, much lower. They'll experience a lull initially with just Reagan. But I think after, give it maybe 8 months or a year, and I think they should return back to normal. There will be a lot of people that do drop off because Brett is leaving. But, that's just kind of what it is. These videos are still crushing it, though. I mean, even for Reagan, 200,000, 180,000, whatever it may be. I mean, for a daily show, these are huge numbers. So we'll see if they can get it back up to Brett Cooper's numbers, because these are unbelievable. Anyways, those are my thoughts. You see things like this happen over at Turning Point USA, PragerU, Daily Wire, and I think ultimately there was probably just something in the contract that she didn't agree with, or that Daily Wire maybe they didn't want to pay her enough. Maybe they were totally underpaying her, but they also spent probably millions and millions of dollars building this channel. So there's disagreements. It's a bummer to see the split. Bottom line, though, Brett Cooper, she's done an amazing job on this channel, and on her future channel, I'm sure she will absolutely crush it once again. If you disagree with something I said in this video, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe for more videos, and hit that bell notification button so you're notified next time I post. And I'll catch you all in the next video.